Yeah. All right, so here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adam FlowPoetry Pergament, professor of the English language.
Yeah, I've been called much worse than that, man.
Come on now. Come on. So, we're going to have you on here in a couple weeks. You're going to be here in person. Am I right?
Well, we're gonna try to make that work if we can.
Well, regardless, Perg's going to come down. He's long overdue. He has to come down here and stay with us for a couple days every few months or we both lose our minds. So,
Doing okay there?
wait, you were cutting out there for a second. What'd you say?
Are you doing all right? Taking good care of yourself there?
Oh, you know it. Constantly building this operation and trying to do cool stuff, talking to cool people like you.
Man, happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, you look good. You look healthy, Perg.
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm hanging in there. Took it slow today. Got myself down to the post office and rode around. Got myself a sub sandwich.
There you go. What kind of sub sandwich?
Oh my
It was
God. Oh, I see
number-
what's going on. Look at that,
Sounds-
Perg. Look what happened. Shapeshifters.
Shapeshifters are interrupting our broadcast, Perg. What the fuck?
Look at that. That's crazy. You got some weird shit going on there.
He's fixing it right now. These-
Get JMO fix it there. It looks like he fixed it.
Oh, it's coming back. Power turned off. Oh, here we are.
That.
There I am. These new cameras are finicky.
Yeah.
No, I had to. If you don't plug in the power adapters, they turn off and then they go off shapeshifter mode like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's what a HDMI cable looks like.
It's the people that know Bigfoot exists that put that feature on there. Because they know you're going to be in the woods, your camera's going to be dying, and it's just going to fucking shut off right when you see him. Then he shapeshifts into a butterfly. It just fucking flies off.
Yeah. So, Perg, just tell us, what does poetry mean to you?
Wow, that's a good question, man. So if you want to know what I think about that, lately I've been thinking, and it changes from time to time because poetry changes all the time too, but poetry is whatever you believe is poetry. And it's as simple as that. So it's not a definition or an imposition in that way. It's just simply a way of looking at the world. So if you see something and you say, that's poetry, or you hear something and you say that's poetry, then that's poetry.
Yeah. Well, what made you say, like, how old were you when you just like started writing your own poems?
Well, it goes back quite a ways, man. But the first time I ever kind of owned it was when I was, I think, already in my 20s at that point. Like I'd written some stuff as a younger person, but maybe a teacher told me to write it, or maybe something came out that was written down by a family member or something when I was a kid. But the first time I was ever really consciously doing it in that way was into my early 20s. And I carried a notebook around when I traveled, and I would write stuff down, and sometimes just this stuff would come out, and I'm like, you know what? I think that might be a poem. Let me share that with some people. And that's how it kind of got started.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. What you love Asia. You love the culture of Asian culture. We've frequented Chinatowns across the country together. You have lived in the land of China. Give us a little insight. Man. Give us a little insight into that. Like, how do you go from, because you're born and raised in Wisconsin, right? How do you get from Wisconsin to China?
Well, let's go back. So, not actually born and raised in Wisconsin. That was not true. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and moved around a lot as a kid, and went to high school and a little bit of college in Minnesota, and then moved to Wisconsin. But the story of how the Asia thing came about is real simple. So I graduated from college in '88, and in '88 we had I think it was Reagan, Bush, something like that. And the economy was real tough at that point, man. There weren't a whole lot of jobs. I had a degree in English. I'm like, what am I going to do with that? And I was paging through this Time magazine. I was looking at a magazine in the shop, and there was this big advertisement for Taiwan. Oh, Taiwan's booming, the economy's booming, and all this shit's happening. And I was just like, well, then I'll go there, right? So I found a buddy. This was at the beginning of the summer after I graduated. And I said, I'm going to fly to Taiwan, man. You want to go? And he had been someone who had traveled before. And he was like, yeah, let's just do it. So that summer I worked 3 jobs. I was cleaning out. I can't remember what I was cleaning out, but I was doing some cleaning. I was making sandwiches at 6 a.m., like 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in some bakery basement with some crazy fucking guy. He owned the basement. He would come down there and he would just yell, those sandwiches weren't perfect or whatever. I did that for a summer. And then I was unloading UPS trucks, which is a horrible job, but they paid $8 an hour at the time. So what would happen is they put you in the back of one of these big trucks in the middle of summer, and you'd pull out the boxes. You had to do 600 boxes an hour to keep up with the conveyor belts that were going. And so I worked those 3 jobs, got myself some money together, got a plane ticket, and me and my buddy got on the plane and got totally wasted, drunk, and wound up standing on the street corner of Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, at 2 a.m. with a phone number for a hotel that had been closed for 3 years. We didn't know that at the time. And that's how it started, man. That's just bought a ticket and got on a plane.
That simple.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be willing just to kind of dive into the world, you know.
That is very true. You can't sit back and wonder what if.
No, but it teaches you a lot, and that's the thing, right? So like we're on that street corner at 3 a.m, and there's people out in the street all the time in Taiwan. And all of a sudden there are like 30 people surrounding us. And to my mind, my hungover 3 a.m. jet lag mind, I was like, man, we're in trouble. What's going on, man? They were all yelling and screaming at us, or so I thought, but they were probably just being like, hey, you guys look lost, man. You need some help. And I looked over at my buddy, and he had pulled out this little tape recorder that he traveled with, and he was holding it in front of all their faces, and he was going in a circle. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? I mean, we're here in Taiwan on the street corner at 3 a.m. We're, starting to freak out. And he was just like, all right, just chill out. In 2 weeks, everything is going to be completely settled, and we're going to listen to this and laugh our asses off. And that was a fact, man. That's exactly what happened.
That's crazy. That would be wild to just like, how old were you?
Well, I think I was 21 at that time.
Yeah, I mean, 21, you're still pretty young. You're just now getting out there in the world, figuring it out. You can legally drink, and you jump on a fucking plane to Taiwan, and now you're standing in the street, and you can't understand a word these guys are saying, and your friend's waving his shit like it's a gun.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he was cool about it, right? And I was freaking out. Like that was the first time that I had been in that situation. And but that moment teaches you something, right? When everything's going crazy around you, couple deep breaths, man, just sit and smile, because in a couple weeks you'll look back and you'll be like, you know what? We made it through that. All right, we're rolling, right? And it was a trip, man. It was a trip from start to finish. So I dig that stuff.
So when you were over there, didn't you say you made money along the way just teaching English, doing what you do now, teaching English?
Yeah, well, at that time, so Taiwan was an interesting spot, right? So they had gone through 45 years of martial law. So the army had run the place for 45 years, and it had ended, I think, 6 months into the time I was there, or a year before I was there. And so they were just opening up. Everybody wanted to study English. So, if you could speak it, you could get a job teaching it, or tutoring somebody. And so that's what I do, just hang out with people and speak with them, and they'd give me money and make tea for me. And so I was like, this is great, man. I just have to sit around and talk to people. I'm down.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's how I survived, because I didn't go out there with anything really after I had bought my plane ticket, from making sandwiches and unloading trucks and shit.
Yeah. Crazy. That's awesome. So you're pretty fascinated. I remember, me and you you are a black belt in kendo. Is that right? Am I wrong
Yeah,
there?
right. I did it for 7 years and taught a little bit, and along the way went down to Chicago with my kendo club mates, and we tested and passed different levels and stuff like that.
Huh. Cool. So, and I know, where did we go? Where was all that samurai stuff? Was it the museum in Madison?
Yep. I was just
Yeah.
talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, that was a trip, right? And just totally random, right? That shit popped up. But yeah, man, I love that, and I love watching those old samurai movies. I don't know if you guys ever watch any of them. They're like westerns, dude. They're like, we love the crazy westerns, right? Well, those samurai movies are like westerns in Japan, so it's fun.
So, I guess if you could make a choice to like go back in time and be a cowboy any way you want to do it, or be a samurai warrior in ancient China, what are you doing?
Damn, that's good, dude. I don't know. That's pretty tough. Samurai, Harley, man. Samurai were at the beck and call of their masters. You know what I'm saying? So the uppity ups, the daimyos, and all the top guys had samurai surrounding them, either as bodyguards or as their army, or certain different things. And whatever that dude said went, right? Like if you go watch the old like Japanese gangster movies, the Yakuza movies, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Same thing, right? When the head of the Yakuza says something, everybody has to do it, and he might just send you off to your death. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'd probably be the cowboy stuff, man. Riding in the desert, the heat. You're kind of your own man at that point, right? You do what you want to do.
Yeah, you got the
Oh,
open
yeah.
frontier. I would too. That's what I would choose.
Yeah. Although I must say, man, swords are cool, dude. Like, but when it comes to duels, you got to think about it, right? So anybody with a gun can shoot anybody, right? I mean, that's it. Like, you might be the best gunfighter and some dude sneaks up behind you at a card game, and that's it. There's nothing you can do, right?
Yeah.
But with a sword, you have to get within that range to kill somebody or to cut them. So, I mean, as long as you're facing the dude, like, you're going to see him coming. Nobody can hide around a building and like pop you off from 100 yards or something like that, right?
Yep.
Quite a different. So when like the samurai would fight each other and those swords are razor sharp, it was quite a thing.
Yeah. I know when we were walking through that place, it was just like the knowledge that Perg had about these samurais was just unbelievable. The things he was telling me their whole code of ethics, their way of life, their honorable deaths. What was it? What was it that you told me, like, that they stabbed themselves in the stomach? What was that?
Well, that's called seppuku, is what that's called. So, some people call it harikiri or whatever, but basically, yeah, that's an honorable way. So if you've screwed up, if you've hurt your organization in some way, or you haven't maintained your honor, it's better that you go in that way than continue on with as a man without any honor. But the thing is that, like, the way it works, and this is stuff that I've read from what I understand. So it wasn't just like they stabbed themselves in the stomach. No, you had to insert the knife and then you had to pull it across your stomach. So it was in and pulled to the side. So you slice the thing.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Perg's also a big fan of sumo wrestling. I know that, like, late night here is when they're doing all the sumo tournaments over there during the day and stuff. So we've spent a lot of nights sitting there drinking and watching sumo, and it's very entertaining. What got you into that, Perg?
I don't know. I just found it at some point within the last couple of years, but I find it to be pretty relaxing. Like, the matches take place really quick. So there's that burst of excitement and craziness, 400-pound dudes slamming into each other, trying to, knock the other to the ground or push them out. And that's fun. But the rest of it is just kind of just like sitting there, and it's super ambient. Like, I don't know. I've been getting really into like ambient sounds lately. Nothing like too much. It's just swirling ambient sounds, and sumo's like that. You're just sitting there just waiting for them to crash into each other, and it happens once every like 10 minutes, and the rest is just like ambient.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of meditative almost. These people
Yeah.
are zened. It's not like, you know, a UFC fight where everybody's fucking partying, getting drunk, having a good time. Like, these motherfuckers are into it. It is ancient history. They are zen. They are one, and they're into this sport.
Yep, that's right. That's right. It happens real fast, right? So can you imagine, like, if you thought, I mean, like, you know, talking to musicians or whatever, you go up on stage and you're performing for 3 hours, right? And it's going to take you a little while to warm up into it. I mean, maybe you hit it hard right away, and then in the middle of your set, things are chilling a little bit or whatever. Something goes good, something goes bad. But with those dudes, man, like all of their work, all of their preparation literally goes into like 15 seconds. They have to be like immediately able to turn it on in those 15 seconds and make it work, and then they're done. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like they go up there and they just, like that one dude who was the Yokozuna and who was like almost undefeated, or he would just go in there and just 4 seconds, if that, throw him like a rag doll. It's over. He'd just walk off like he didn't even just do that.
Slap him around a little bit.
Yeah. It's a pretty crazy thing. I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, it's just an old weird sport that's super fun to watch for me, I guess.
I'm with you. I can't wait. I hope that it seems like every time you come down, it just happens to coincide with this sumo tournament.
Yeah, that's weird, right? So yeah, they do them seasonally, so it's 4 times a year. But right now, they're not sure if the May one is going to happen because of, you know, obvious world issues and stuff like that. But
yeah, well, yeah. So back onto your poetry. Like, you said you carried that notebook with you when you first got started, and you really were like, I'm going to do this and be a poet. But do you remember, like, your first poem? What's the first poem that you remember being like, this is my poem? This is maybe the one that sent me on the road to doing it.
Oh yeah, dude, I got that. And I still perform it and do it. Came out of my trips on an island called Koh Phangan in Thailand. And yeah, that's my like, that's the root from which it all comes, man. And that one's called Stone Bridged and Sizzle Plexed.
Give it to us. Can you spit it?
I can read it to you.
You got it? You got it right there?
What do I got?
Oh, and hey guys, I've been to this man's house. He has literally bookshelves full of poems that he's written.
Hey man, I'm getting rid of the rest of my books though, dude. I've been reading them and getting rid of them.
Hit me up, dude. I like to read. I'm out of books. I was just thinking about going on a book buying spree. I usually buy like 10, and then I'll read them over the course of like 2 years. But
yeah,
I do love books. Actually, they both have books, Lysergic. Perg, how do they buy your book? Perg has a book and Ralph has a book. They're both authors, but Perg has a book. It's for sale.
Yeah, both of those things are up on a website called Lulu, LULU.com. But the problem is that right now it might be down. It was whack yesterday for some reason. Okay. So I don't know.
And they just search for FlowPoetry.
Yeah, FlowPoetry, or search for Ralph Mouth, and those should come up if the website's working.
LULU.com.
LULU.com. Yep, Lulu.
All right, there it is. There it is, folks. Hit the link. Buy the FlowPoetry book. It's badass. My grandma approves of everything Perg's ever done.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a longer one, so you just got to drift on it a little bit. But this is the one that came out, and it came out just like this. I didn't fuck with it. It just came out, and from that time on, I was like, okay, I'm going to keep going on this. So it's called Stone Bridged and Sizzle Plexed. Stone bridged and sizzle plexed he was as he attempted the glide. Mud hut womp sideshow chant, thought he. Cold bastion of hunger and remorse after the turning. Last midnight's utter desolation rainbowed into green leaves shoot off black trunks wet with rain. 7 days without, 14 days to go. Horse riding, sand surfing, major chords of Nevermore Overture. 14 days to go. Jesus walked on the water, sizzle-plexed, toodaloo, ray guns zapped and ambushed in the nighttime freeze of shattered stars and frozen moons, cratered with the souls of the detonation and stone-bridged impact crown drops of milk drooling down window panes. Electric hum, cat scratch claws, pinioned in velour velvet mesh sweater warp. Asia City bomb blast after the rape, Sweet Mary. Virgin Madonna. They took your soul, and Jesus walked on the sizzle-plexed water toodaloo. So you cut heads. So he gave it back, only to take it again. Cat scratch, eyeball mesh, sweater, hose, left over in the refrigerator, covered in plastic, and stinking like cheese. The turning, walking on the beach. Stone bridge, psychedelic Red Sea, rising, swelling, smelling seaweed from distant shores, as the blue watched from afar, off the shore, on the boat, afloat, and leave a note. Hide the liquid under the bed, thought he, and the termites ate the bungalow. The turning, thought he. Spiritual fetus, psychedelic embryo left to starve, malnutrition and ribs sticking through pale, stretched wax paper skin. Walk on the beach, fluorescent blue algae one cell lighting up the Black Sea minor chord, reflection of the stars major chord, distortion hum and wind buzz through palm tree, sand swing, fly and glide, toodaloo. I am God, thought he. I created this. You created me, subject and object, tabla pump, and Ashoka pillar rising out of the sea, number 84,001, saw he. Stupa, stone-bridged. Wake up, wake up. Synapse scream and molten metal cup mud hut womp, swallow and gurgle, giggle and laugh, keep up outer appearances, don't let face crack, himself reminded he, Yama disciple, lord of the four corners, Chakravarta wheel spinning into his head, crown sawing into two halves of the same one. Sizzle-plexed. Blow the palm and fry the sky. Sunburned and mind so high, so high, so high. Spin and trip, groan and slip, piss and moan, heave on home. It's a new day, thought he, laid back and laughing. I am insane. I am insane. I am insane, said the literal man. Metaphysical man came out and laughed, Indian style head bob. Guru, guru, test your teacher. Isn't he just another preacher? Religion, religion, have a smoke, or just another little toke. Rock teacher, tree teacher, mellow scream, not shout, yawn and pout, press and moan, hear the tone, synapse and tea, molten metal, mud hut womp chant. Bailing Valley, cave of glory, dance around the fire, Neolithic mishmash of psychedelic cave melt, and backspasm twitch. Dinosaur egg turns blue, yellow, green, red, lasting thoughts inside your head, blasting thoughts until you're dead, casting moths upside your bed, candle blown out, waves thrown, surfs into the next spin of press and dive, dance and trance, rave and wave, rant and rage, climbing onto the next rung higher and higher, letting go lighter and lighter, and laugh and moan and never doubt. Gloat and float until the breeze spins you round, until you please to rant and rage, and look at all the words on this page, words and hype, and try and might to tell it all to the nose down the hall, stone-bridged and sizzle-plexed. That's it.
That's the seed that planted it all, huh?
Yeah.
Stone bridged and sizzle plexed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about
that's
yeah,
out there, Perg. That's out there.
Yeah, dude, that was kind of the thing, And I didn't even worry about really what it meant too much, just I liked the way it sounded. And over time, I kind of stuck with it. But yeah, stone bridged and sizzle plexed.
So it seems like is that how it started? Did that line pop into your head first and then you blossomed off that?
Yeah, dude. So it was like
because it seemed to me like you were kind of trying to explain, you came up with that first, and then the whole song or the whole poem is just you explaining what in the fuck that actually is.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the thing is that, back in those days, I mean, things weren't as free or as easy as they are right now with even things like smoking weed or whatnot. But it wasn't just that you were stoned, but it was stoned and a bridge to somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
A gateway.
So a gateway. And it wasn't that you were perplexed, but you were sizzleplexed.
There you go.
Oh, right.
It makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying that.
I like it. So I don't know if you probably weren't in there. You were probably preparing, but we played a Venice Gas House Trolley song on the playlist tonight before the stream.
Right. All right. Which one?
Let me see. Which one was it? I was going to do Brain Cells, but I ended up doing something else because I just hit play and I was like, oh yeah, this fucking song was sweet.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I miss that band. I miss those days, but I think some of it still holds up pretty good. So
it was Laying Low.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was our reggae thing. Right.
Yeah.
A Rastafarian Viper told me where to go. I was shooting dice down Kingston Bay, laying low in Montego.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. It was good stuff. So yeah, those who don't know, we've had, we've done a lot of stuff with FlowPoetry since we were just little baby boys, and here we are. We've grown into men. Perg's the wise one, the master. He's like the Master Splinter to the Ninja Turtles.
You go.
He saw that we had a 46-day tour planned nationwide, from here to the east, to the south, to the west, to the north, and beyond, and he was like, these boys are going to need a chaperone, so I better just go with them. Somebody needs to take care of these boys out there. So he came with us as our chaperone, confidant, brother in arms. And just, what was that experience like for you, Perg?
We had some great times out there. A lot of great times.
Oh, yeah, man. It was awesome, man. I think you guys said I slept a lot at the beginning of it. But I don't remember much of the beginning. But no, it's just little pieces and images of it all, like the one that sticks to my mind, man, is like, I think we wound up out west, and we took a detour to this like White Sands National Park, if that makes any sense. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so White Sands was fun. And so we got there and JMO had been sleeping in the back, I think, for about 8 hours because we drove. I think it was after the show or you were sleeping during the day. And I wandered out into the White Sands. Dime was there. We wandered out and we're just standing in the middle of the White Sands. We turned around and you had piled out of the car, JMO, and you were pissing all over that White Sands National Park, man.
I was leaving my mark, man.
We're leaving the park. Exactly, man. Oh, people started screaming, JMO! Like, turning the White Sands yellow, brother.
Had to, dude. Morning piss.
Morning piss, exactly. But it's just little things. And, like hanging out. What was that guy, Sacramento Bob? We hung out at Bob's house for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I liked the Pacific Northwest. We had good times up in Oregon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we did. We had good times across the whole map, I feel like. That was such a long trip, but it was so much fun.
Oh, it was. We got to do that again. And Ralph, like the way you drove that car and the Yukon and kept it going, man. Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. You got to. There's no other choice out there. You could just give up.
Can't give up. Can't give up.
After that tour, it was like, we can't tour without this guy.
Oh, that's sweet, man. No, we had fun though, and we got down to Florida. We saw the basalt zombies and that whole crazy part of the family, and
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, right? Yeah.
Dude, nearly this whole album, you know, all the new stuff on this album was written on that tour in the car.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Yep. Well, that was part of the thing too, right? Because we had never had the chance just to hang out in an extended period of time in a small space and see what kind of creative stuff we could come up with, and that was fun, man.
Definitely. We never tried to kill each other.
Not once.
I don't think we had a crossword. I don't think. I mean, I think we had fun the entire time, and we were just only sad when it had to end.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah, damn good time. Yeah, that was there was a lot of good highlights on that trip. We did see a lot of cool stuff.
We totally did, and played some killer venues like San Diego. What was the name of the place in San Diego?
It was in Ocean Beach. It was Winston's.
Yeah.
And you guys tore that place apart, and I mean, it was good, man. It was a lot of fun the whole time.
That was the first California show, I think, was the Winston's.
It was. We played with Neil P. Nebo.
And it was a great introduction. Yeah, we did play with Nebo. That's right.
He's coming up as the next guest tonight.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, we had fun, man. We had fun. Lots of gummy bears and craziness.
Yeah, I just remember from San Diego, like, after that, we went to the dude's house. The sound guy took us to his house, and he gave us some of the great weed, and I was trying to smoke them all under the table. And we went to, you guys remember that little fucking burrito bowl, little taco shack?
Oh, yeah, he took us there on his bike. He's like, follow me, just fucking.
Electric bike, and he's hauling ass, and we're just following this electric bike through the streets of Cali. We've never been to Cali as a band before. I think Ralph had, but not as a band. So we're there like, first time in Cali, you get those little Mexican street stands with that Mexican food. Nothing like it.
Yeah.
Nothing like it at all. It's great.
We got to open up this country again, and Glostik Willie can go back on tour, and everybody can pile in a bunch of cars and follow you down the road and turn everybody on.
Yeah. I mean, let's go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get back and doing the shows and doing the thing. Until then, we'll do this. And when it's time to go back on the road, we'll take it with us.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So what's what about you? You still, is your plans for May, are they still intact with your touring and stuff?
No, so I wound up having to cancel all those shows. I had a 12-day run. I was going to go up to northern Minnesota, down through Chicago, had 2 in Michigan, Ohio, and then get myself back. But yeah, I had to cancel all those. You know, we got the no travel order in Wisconsin until May 26th, non-essential travel and stuff like that. And I mean, it might change and whatnot, but yeah, it was just not going to happen. And so, yeah, that's all canceled off now. So I'm just chilling, hoping that some of the summer festivals, late summer, will hold up and find myself back out there then. But it's been good, man. I mean, you know, it's a good time to look inside and, you know, think about new things and stuff like that.
Yeah. Reflect on things, make changes, you know, go, you know, figure out what you want to do. Like you're being forced in your house and you're stuck and you're forced to, you know, basically look inside yourself. And it's just a really good time to be creative and learn things about yourself and, you know, pick up a fucking instrument, learn to play, pick up an art.
That's right. Yeah, it's the time, man. If you ever wanted to do it, you might as well try it now and see. And so that's been good. You know, I mean, as you know, a lot of us who work at this a lot, we're always focused so much on the outside, what we're pushing out and what we're doing day to day to keep getting stuff out there. And that's good and that's important. But then on the flip side, you got to spend time looking in too.
Right. Right. So have you been enjoying that? Have you learned a lot about yourself in this time, Berg?
Well, bits and pieces, you know, I mean, I've been reading a lot, you know, I've been writing some and, the thing for me is that, I've lived alone for a long time. And so I'm very comfortable with that. So everything's quieted down in my town. It's just a time where everybody's quiet and looking in. It's just been good, man. It's been chill.
Sweet. Yeah, you've never been one who's needed another person around you.
Yeah, it's one of those things, dude. Like, I mean, and you guys know this as well. So, 13, 1,400 shows, and sometimes that was 100 plus, 150 a year kind of thing.
Right.
And those are intensely social times, which I love, and they're so great. But then when I'm away from that, I just want to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like that's the satisfaction, because that's what we're doing all the work for, is for that little amount of time that we get that from it,
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's a strange thing, man. I mean, it's a very intensive kind of life, and so you live very intensely in those moments, and then when those moments go away, I mean, and I think many people who do that kind of thing will tell you that it's just really nice just to have like just the complete opposite, which is just nothing's going on. I can just chill.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I like it, and it gives you just a place where, the only thing you have is your mind. And you've never been one for TV.
No, not much TV. I mean, I watch a bunch of movies, but not much TV. Although I must say, dude, like lately I've been going down these little like YouTube rabbit holes, which is fun. And that's kind of like TV, I guess.
Well, I mean, I just mean, there is one side of it where I never even knew what a fail blog was until you came over to my house like 10 years ago and said, "Oh, you guys never watch fail blogs?" Like, so you turned me on to that. But then we go up to your house to tour, and it's just like, we go in and it's like this Asian Zen where there's no TV. You don't have a microwave. I don't have a microwave. You don't have one either, do you?
Microwave.
Yeah, see? And it's just this Zen. And I can't even get in to my first experience at your house. I'm not even going to get into it tonight.
Okay. I used to just guys in there and then take off. Okay, guys, just you guys hang out. I'll be back in a little while.
Oh, I know. I'm sure Ralph remembers. I think it was me and Ralph there. Like, this is cool, but man, what the fuck?
It's weird, dude. I don't know what's up with Pergy's weird, dude. He doesn't have anything in his house. I wonder how many bodies he has in his basement.
And then it turns out that, like, out of all the people I've met in all of the years that we've done this, you're, like, still, to this day, the longest and one of our greatest friends.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, it's mutual. Hey, man, I remember back in the day, we've told it a lot, and going down to Beatniks and seeing you boys there and doing that show that kind of set us on this path that we've been walking on. So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
We're all connected, man. And all the amazing people that have come into your band and your scene and all the people who support you guys. And man, it's fucking great. I love being a part of it.
Yeah. Well, we're happy you are, it was, Shantron, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Nobody cares. But nobody's upset at you at all. But,
what was that? I missed that.
Nothing. I'm watching chat. Ralph's watching it for questions that are coming through. That's Ralph's so just so you guys know, Ralph is the channel between you guys and the guest, because he's watching the chat. So if he sees a question that would be good to ask that you guys want to know, you got any questions, just throw it in.
Ralph, you've been much. I heard you the other day.
What was that? You were breaking up.
I said, have you been cooking much? I heard you did a cooking show the other day.
Yeah, I did a cooking show. It's going to be fucking sweet. We did, you know how much I like cooking, We did a cooking show for a YouTube channel called Brutally Delicious, and I'm in the middle of editing it right now. We did a couple things that are just like our own little hippie metal spin on some fire dishes. But hopefully
Wow.
we can get this thing out, because then we'll show it to everybody on Twitch. You know, it'll be on the YouTubes and such.
You could have an episode of Kitchen, not Kitchen Nightmares. What's that one? Not Iron Chef. What's the one where you get all the chefs around and Gordon Ramsay eliminates them one by one or something like that?
Hell's Kitchen, yeah.
Gotta have Willie's Kitchen or Ralph's Kitchen or something like that, and figure out a spin on that.
Right. It was fun doing it, you know.
And we got to eat good food, dude.
Yeah. And I'm in the middle of editing the video now. This will be the first video I've ever edited, technically. But I think it's going good. You know, I'm just trying to make sure nothing is left out and everything's well polished before it's put out.
Yeah. I like it, man. So what did you cook on it?
Oh, should I keep that a secret, or should I just let it go?
I mean, you can tell them.
I cooked this our own spin on, you know, the Indiana classic. Wisconsin has cheese. You know, Chicago, they got the deep dish pizza and the Chicago dog. Well, Indiana doesn't have much for food other than an Indiana tenderloin. It's a pork tenderloin, you know, pounded really thin, breaded in crackers. Well, we did a pork tenderloin pounded thin, but breaded in Cajun seasoning. And I dubbed that sandwich, after frying it, throwing it on a bun, you know, with some onions and mustard. I dubbed it the Hateful Brutta.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the Gonzo sticks.
Yeah, and then I did a side, or an appetizer, that's the Gonzo sticks, and it's a piece of asparagus that's wrapped with bacon and croissant. So it looks trippy, but it's fucking fire. Like, so good. So those are the two things that are going to be premiered in the cooking show. And I have, once it's debuted, we put the video out. Anybody can make this at home, exactly like we do.
Yeah, and it was actually so good. And Ralph has so many little stupid little recipes like that are so fire that we're like, maybe we should do it just as a segment on this show, to where it's just like we can cut to a 5-10 minute video of Ralph doing a cooking segment.
Take everybody to class real quick.
Love it, man. I love it.
We cook a lot.
That's for sure.
What'd you say?
You're gonna make all the chat people hungry. That's for sure, though.
Oh yeah. Well, last night we made the. I don't know if you saw my Facebook, but I had the morel mushrooms. I fried them to perfection. It was just they're crazy. So next time you come down, I'm gonna go out mushroom hunting. I'm gonna freeze a bunch of them, so that way when you come down, I'm gonna make you a breaded Indiana style, glow stick style morel mushroom, Perg.
Amazing.
I
Can't wait.
Perg taught me how to do the shiitake mushrooms. I remember we came up there to Wisconsin and you cooked us up this little vegetarian meal, and I was like, damn, that's actually pretty fire. I got a question from chat for you, Perg. We have a user here who wants to know what some of the poets who have inspired you are.
That's a good one, man. Thanks for the question. I appreciate that. I was thinking about it the other day, and mostly I was inspired early on by, you know, the beat poets. So if names like Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg and Gary Snyder ring any bells. So the great book On the Road by Jack Kerouac, I read that. And then I read Dharma Bums, and Dharma Bums was great, man. That, you know, putting on the backpacks and traveling and that kind of stuff really inspired me a lot. So those guys are part of it. And then the other one is Robert Hunter, who wrote the Dead's lyrics and was a great poet in his own right, obviously. And so kind of mix those together, and kind of this is what comes out of it, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Like it takes a lot of courage to be a poet, especially in today's society. You know, hold on. And you went on to that, and doing that, you've went on your own solo tours where you went around. Like there was that one that you just did all the way across the country, and you rode with the pranksters and did all that, and you were in like some crazy little hip hop poetry bars in the ghettos of Memphis or whatever city it was. But tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, it does take courage, but I think anybody who puts themselves out there, no matter how you do it. If you're playing guitar or playing drums or singing or putting yourself out there in your job, that takes courage too. So I don't think it's any more or less than what everybody has to go through when they say, this is who I am, and I'm stepping out in this way. And so, but yeah, man, I've done it all around the country. The stuff that you're talking about, I had the opportunity to ride on the prankster bus, the Further bus with Zane Kesey and some of those folks. And you guys were part of that too, man, right? I mean, you guys played, I think a couple of those, right? The Ohio one for sure, right?
Yeah, we did like 4 or 5 of them right in a row because they were all in Ohio, you know.
That's right. So you know what that was about, but and then I have gone on my own and just shown up in places and joined in. The thing in Memphis was real fun, man. That was down.
Was I right? I was really right with that city.
You were, yeah, because I pulled in there and I was looking just for places where I could, read or whatever. They had a thing, and I'm not going to remember the name now. This group downtown who did a weekly thing where they had a house band and people could come up and join in with a band or do some poetry or play their own songs or whatever like that. Showcase / open mic thing. So I went down there. But the cool thing was that on the corner of that street was Sun Records, which, famous for Memphis blues, the whole Beale Street sound and things like that. So I got to kind of poke my head in there and then went and did my thing and had a good time, man.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it would be an experience to be, it's an experience to be out on the road, period, but I've never actually done it alone. Like, ever been out by myself in a car by myself, driving myself, doing it all, and just doing it. That's got to be. It takes a special kind of person to be able to do that.
Well, you got to enjoy being lost. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you're okay with getting really lost, sometimes it's all good, And I like that, man. I mean, I don't know why, but there's kind of it comes out of Jack Kerouac book On the Road, but he describes at one point, and this is in the early 1950s, he's driven across the country and he's pulled into Denver. I think it's like that. And he gets out of the car and he's wandering around through this neighborhood and it's late at night and the streets are empty and he can see in these little houses, there's lights on in the houses and there's families in there doing their thing. And he's wandering down the street and the feeling of kind of being lost and alone, but at the same time being free and being able to know that you can go anywhere you want and weird things and amazing things are going to happen and all of that. And he contrasts that with the people who are in their houses and their lives are stuck, man. They're not moving. And he's just moving along and alone, lost, sad, but at the same time free is a feeling I really like.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Yeah, because you don't have to tie down to anybody else's shit they have to deal with. You don't have to worry about anybody else but yourself. And it would kind of make you feel free, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not saying that's how you want to live the next 10 years of your life on the street like that or nothing, but every once in a while, just kind of taking off, doing a walkabout. That's not a bad thing for a man or a woman to get out and just kind of clear their head that way sometimes.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Heck yeah.
Cool, Perk. Well, you're a very interesting guy. We could go. Well, we could talk for days.
Probably.
That's why it's like I can hit you up at multiple times and bring you on the show, and also call on you as a life consultant in the off time.
Yeah, but I mean, take everything I say with a grain of salt, right?
Come on, man. Perg, you've lived longer than me. You've learned a lot. You've known a lot, and you've done a lot of the things that we've done, or what we're trying to do. Without your push, we would have never played our first out-of-state show. It was just like, we have a guy who's willing to make it a reality for us. We're fucking 18. He's fucking said he could book us in Wisconsin, and then he did it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep. A bag of Funyuns and an extra large bag of Ripple Chips and Twizzlers. Anytime, boy.
It's awesome. Well, cool. So yeah, I guess I can't keep you forever. You've been here for an hour.
Oh shit, man. I hope I didn't bore everybody in the chat, and shout out to all the Willie heads and to the Glostik Willie family and everything that you've done, man, to put this stream together. And just keep going, boys. Keep going. I'm tuning in. And if you're out there and listening, you better subscribe to these boys or gift a couple subscriptions, because this is the best damn show going on right now, I say.
Hey, we're trying. Thank you, Perg. We appreciate it. So you wanna leave us with a poem? Maybe give us a little wasted and busted.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. So the Wasted Busted has two parts. It's got the faster part and the slower part. Which one do you want to hear? I'll do one of them for you.
Whatever you want. You choose.
All right. Let's go fast for the Willie heads a little bit. Seated in silence, they stare at your life, scorn you for violence, a relative term, hold your feet to the fire and threaten each nerve, erase time with their fines. They curve words till you swerve. So you rail at mirrors soaked in camphor goo, and they crisscross their monocles, teeth naked, too close to view, laughing at you. Laugh at the way you speak in their ear, tell you, heard it all, wall-eyed and jaded, whisper secrets both far and near, treat every courtesy like it was inane. I tell you, I'm quite clear. They cry crocodile tears. And stamp strychnine cicatrix on each glass of water, poison flowers and youth, siphoning stems, curry favor with dollars and laugh at slaughter. They grasp onto lovers, bleat through a box, ban books just for looks, not for what they got in them, treat you with blank pages and make you pick locks, trade prefabricated granite in return for your gems, speaking in tongues, they road block. There you go.
Yeah. So like on the end there, did road just have a double meaning?
I suppose it could. You know, that's the thing with poetry, man. Like I was saying,
like they rode, like as in they rode a horse, but then they rode block, so they road block.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, whatever you hear is cool with me. That one, you know, wasted and busted. Just real quickly. So I was just, you know, one day I was thinking, like, would it be worse to be wasted and busted, or busted and wasted? You know, wasted and busted, or busted and wasted. I'm not sure which one would be the thing. But that was around a time when a lot of great books were being pulled out of libraries, man. So yeah, they're riding around on those little blocks and they're road blocking, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's a good tune, man. I love that stuff. When we get you down here, we'll get you talking about some more of the time with the band, and you know, just some of those stories, and maybe we can do a couple tunes of yours from back in the day, you know.
Whatever you want, man. But I'm down for whatever you guys want, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it and to have the chance to chat with you all. And again, shouting out to all the Willie heads, man. Best damn fans in the land, following the best band in the land around. So keep it up, you guys.
Thank you, Perg.
No problem, dude. Thank you. We appreciate you.
All right.
Have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, boys. Say hi to Neil for me.
We will. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.